Welcome, Generals, to Ray Rivers Gaming. And in this video, we're going to be doing a basic supply tutorial. When I went to the Steam conversations, one of the questions that I saw most frequently was, how does the supply work in this game? So what I'm going to be doing is giving a basic, this is how the supply system works in Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa. All right. Now the building block for supply, we're just going to jump right in it, okay? The building block for supply are the Army HQs, okay? So here's an Army HQ, and I have in the preferences, I have this HQ power range turned on. Okay. Now, you can see this circle, okay, and there is a circle of 5 hexes out from the HQ. And if one of the unit, if any unit, if the units are within that 5 hex radius, they will receive supply. Okay, but if a unit is outside of that 5 hex radius, let's say over here, then he will be outside of supply range, and that unit will not move. Okay, so that's the very first really important basic thing to understand, is that you've got to keep your armies essentially together and within the supply, the command range of the headquarters. Yeah, because the supply goes to the headquarters, and then he parcels it out to the rest of his guys. If you do have a situation where one of your army units, for some reason, and it's more likely to be a panzer unit or a panzer army, that all of a sudden gets left behind somewhere, there is a card, okay, and is it in command? Yes, okay, it's in command. Transport. Organized priority transport for any division that is outside of command range, not cut off, hasn't moved, and is further than 3 enemies from the enemy. So if something happens, and for some reason you advance too quickly here, and you leave some guy who's now out of that supply radius, that command radius as they call it, you can play that card on that unit and get him back into the command radius of the army. All armies, including panzer armies, have the same kind of setup. 5 hex radius around the army. All right. Now, that's the basic building block, the army. And now we're going to take a look at the whole overall, how do armies get supplied. And what we have to understand, the first thing is, this game has 2 supply systems. And I think that's where people kind of have a hard time in understanding what the hell's going on, is because there's actually 2 supply systems going on here. All right. So let's first talk about the armies. Okay. If you go to the this jerry can, which is called the supply layer, and turn it on, okay, you will see that all of your army, this is supply, green is supply, all of your army guys here are in are in supply. Okay? And, for example, if I click on Ninth Army, oops. There we go. If I click on Ninth Army, you see these red arrows, and they go all the way back from Berlin. Berlin directs the supply. Okay? It goes to OKH and then is sent out based on the theater to wherever it needs to go. So if it's going down to Army Group South, it'll head down here to Army Group South, and Army Group South sends it down to your armies in that area. So the big thing to understand about normal armies, regular armies, is that the supply is automatic, and you really don't have to worry about it. Okay, this is just in the general sense of the thing, of the basics. You don't really have to worry about supply for the armies. Okay, the game, and that's the one side. Okay, so on the one side, you have all these infantry units in these German armies who essentially can move wherever they want, and they will be supplied. All right. Okay, because what they're getting is bullets, beans, bullets, stuff like that. All right. Things, although require a transport effort, don't require a major transport effort. All right. So that's the one side, and then you have to look at the other side, the second side, and the second side is the panzer groups. Okay, it's your panzer armies, which is the second part of the supply system in this game. And this is where things start to get complicated. This is the complicated part of the supply system, is the panzer armies and how they get supplied. Okay? So, let's go back to right now what you're seeing is a game that I'm playing. May turn into video campaign, but for the moment, I'm just using this for this tutorial. Let's go back. There's a couple of decisions you make when you first start the game. So I'm going to go back to that, and let's take a look at these first few. There's two important decisions you have to make at the very beginning of the game, and this is core to this supply system to supply your panzers. Okay, so here we are. We've gone back in time to the pre-start preparations for the campaign, and here you have these reports where you have to make some decisions, and right from the get-go, we're going to see the way this system, the supply system for supplying your panzers, is going to work. And that right here goes right here. Okay, let's start right here. Okay. Okay, so this is, they're asking you, okay, because Russian railroads have a different gauge than German railroads. And it means that the Germans are going to have to convert the Russian railroads into German railroads. Okay, they're asking you, what line do you want to convert for, in this case, Army Group North, okay? they give you a map in here. Okay. All right. Now you can go, let's go back here. Okay, so this goes Kaunas, Riga, and Narva. So let's go to the map. Okay, so it's Kaunas, Riga, and Narva. Okay, essentially this is the coastal route. Okay. And then you have the Kaunas, Dunenburg, and Luga line. So let's again take a look at the map. Okay, Kaunas, Lugenburg, and Luga. So this line is more in the interior, leading to Leningrad, and the other line goes more coastal to Leningrad. Okay. So in my game, I usually pick this one, not the coastal one. I pick the central one. Okay, choose that. All right. Now we look at Aegean Center. Okay. Now it says convert the Brest-Minsk-Smolensk line, and let's take a look at the map. Is there a map? Where's the map? Where's the map? I don't see the map. There we go. Map. Okay. So, let's go back and see what are the options. Minsk, Brest, Minsk, Smolensk line. Okay, I think that would be this. So, let's come back over here. Okay, all right. So one is to go from Warsaw up this way. Okay. And then the other one is to go from here to here, and then it would be Minsk over here, Minsk coming up like that. Okay. So in that case, the Brest-Minsk-Smolensk line is a direct line headed straight for Moscow. So I choose that. All right. And you've now decided what rail direction you're going to take for your panzers. Okay. You don't have to do that in the south, because there's only one direction for your guys at this moment. Going down this way. Once you get down here, they start asking you other questions. But there's only one way. Okay. So that's the very start of this system for the panzers. So let's return to where I was, third turn into the campaign. All right, so here we are in 30 June. So what we've seen right from the very beginning is this emphasis on rail lines, and what we're also seeing, if you look at this map, you notice there's these trucks, and they're all headed. They've got a 4 on them. And these trucks are headed to 4th Panzer Group. Turn that off, and you see that this is a main supply base. Okay, so the supply is headed to the Panzer Groups. Okay? So the real supply system here is how you keep your panzer groups supplied. Because the panzers, they don't just need food and bullets, they also need fuel. And that is a big effort. And the effort to do that, you're going to need to use the rail lines. So the rail line, if you will, is the backbone of your supply system as you move forward. And from the rail lines will flow all the supplies that you're going to need for your panzer groups. All right? And that's why you see at this moment what you're seeing is trucks coming from these main supply bases out to my panzers. Okay? See, he's got a 2 on it. Okay? And that's because he's coming to 2 panzer group. Okay? And this guy's got a 3, and he's going out to 3 panzer group. All right? Now, when you look at the relations, you'll notice you have 2 guys over here. And one guy is trains and one guy is trucks. Okay? And how successful your campaign is going to be is going to depend on how well you can supply your panzer groups as they get out into the boondocks over here. Okay? All right? And the way we do that is we designate certain places as forward supply bases. And actually, right now, this is just starting my 3rd move. It's 30 June. The offense is still the Blitzkrieg is still really in effect here. And you see here that they're asking me if I want to relocate the forward supply base for Army Group North. Okay, really, it's the supply group for the Panzer Corps, the Panzer Army in Army Group North. Okay, the infantry armies, don't worry about them. It's the Panzer armies that you've got to supply. All right, and so they're saying, do you want to put a forward supply base in Kaunas or not? All right. Well, okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, this is Kaunas, and they're asking me if I want to put a force supply base right there, right now. Okay. Normally, you do not want to stretch more than 10 hexes with your trucks. Anything over 10, and you're going to be doing, you're going to be getting excess attrition to your trucks. So Kaunas sounds like a good place to put a forward supply base. The problem is that when you move to, and the way it works, first let's talk about the way it works. When I designate Kaunas as a forward supply base, what will happen is it will take two turns, okay, to set that up. And then what you will see is you will have trains that will be moving down this track, okay? And notice that track is black. It's German gauge track, all right? And as you take control of the Russian area, they will continue converting that track based on what you told them at the very beginning of what line you want to follow. Okay? So by placing a forward supply base here, all of a sudden I don't have to use so many trucks, and now I'll start to be be able to use trains instead. Okay. So that'll take away a lot of the wear of the trucks. Of course, the bad thing about it is that when they do that, okay, supply for fuel and stuff like that stops, okay, for 2 turns. All right. Now, most of these guys, if you go ahead and you can go ahead and do a bunch of things here. You've got 3,000 in fuel here. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and change this. But you better figure that you're probably going to be stuck here without fuel, okay, for a while. So this is going to slow your advance. It's going to slow your advance while this forward supply base is brought online. Okay, in my case, I'm not so worried about it because my infantry still has a lot of work to do up here. However, at the same time, I see a lot of opportunities which my panzers could take advantage of, okay, if they had movement. All right. And that is essentially the basis, the supply, how the supply system works in its most fundamental sense. Okay, your train guys you have guys who are converting the railroad, okay, along the track, along the direction that you want it to take, okay. You move forward supply base, your forward supply base, ever further into Russia, and then it is supported by trains ever further as you get into Russia, and then from that forward supply base, your panzer group will be supplied with trucks. Okay? That's the system. That's how it works. All right? That's how it works. Now there's some, you're going to, there's all kinds of things that add on to all of this, of course. Depends on the weather. Mud, for example, or, raining, mud, freezing temperatures, all this kind of stuff. It's all going to affect transport. As will a lot of the decisions that you make up here. Okay? So, for example, this one is unexpected fuel use, and the guy's saying, "Hey, man, we're using way too much fuel. We can't keep this up." Okay. I believe this is Wagner. I think this is the fuel guy. The truck guy. Yeah, Wagner. Okay, he's a truck guy. Okay, so you're going to make a decision that's going to affect your relationship with this guy. Okay, and he's neutral to you right now. And you say our fuel expenditure. He says our fuel expenditure is unsustainable. I strongly recommend issuing orders to all mechanized divisions requiring a more measured advance that minimizes fuel use. So he wants you to essentially come out of the He wants to come out of the Blitzkrieg mode that you start, which gives you so much bonuses, so much more movement. Okay, he's asking you to do that. Okay, and you can respond full throttle all the way. In other words, maintain the blitz. Okay, and all of its bonuses. Avoid excessive maneuvering, which will tone down the blitz. Okay. Or fuel efficiency is the key, which is to adapt a fuel efficient offensive doctrine. Okay, fuel efficient offensive doctrine. And if we look at the cards, okay, what does that sound like? That sounds like, see, here's Blitzkrieg, and here's sustained operations. Okay, order army to adopt a sustained offensive posture. All right. So he's asking you to do that now. Okay. Remember the offensive started on the 22nd. Okay. I mean, we're barely 1 week since the offensive began, and this guy is already asking us to tone it down. So, you know, I don't want to make an enemy of this guy, and I need this guy to be on my side in the future, because between the trains and the trucks, they're what's going to keep your panzers going. Okay, but in this case, I really don't want to tone down my offensive, because my offensive is going quite well at the moment. Okay, I've wiped out a lot of people in pockets. There are still other guys that can be pocketed. These people here can be pocketed. Right here. Okay, between 4th Panzer and 3rd Panzer, I can pocket probably this group right there. Okay. So I don't, is it a good time? Is it a good time for me to change my forward operating base? Probably not. Okay. Probably what I need to do is I need to keep my offensive moving. Okay, and take these. I got guys, pocketed. The enemy spread out. I can get around these guys, pocket a whole bunch more. But I need fuel to do that. All right. So maybe not a good idea. Army group, especially for Army Group North and Center. I mean, we're making real inroads here, and Minsk is not far away. Okay, Minsk is not far away. We take a couple of these guys out. We take these guys out here, encircle here, come around here, and encircle these groups here. Look at all those guys. And an army group, which gives you political points. Another army group there. Okay, that's a big encirclement, and you can do it. I mean, it's not like it would be difficult to do this. Boom. I got that guy encircled. Okay, well, I'm starting the encirclement. Now this guy comes over there. Okay, and he's going to start encircle this. Come on over here. Let's see here. I'm just messing with this here. Okay. Okay, let's hold there for a second. We have to coordinate between the two of these guys. All right, so that's let's come over here. All right, not gonna let me do it. This looks like I have to bump these guys first. I just destroyed that guy. Okay, I can come up here. And look here, now I can come all the way around and attack this guy. But he went that way. Don't go that way. And boom, I've got this guy and two more guys, especially a army headquarters, which is going to give me political points. I got this whole group there now, almost isolated. And now they are. All right. Use those panzers to, especially now that I've got them on the run, to get out there and pocket them. And don't worry so much about killing troops, worrying about cutting them off. Then you let the infantry come up and finish them off. Okay? But going back to the supply question. Okay. So this is probably not a good time to be changing Army Group North's forward supply. I think it's not a good time. All right? Because I can do a lot of stuff still, and I don't want to run out of fuel. I want that guy. See, for example. And then I can put that guy there. Yeah. So right there, just like that, I've got a command, army headquarters, 2 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, including an army command there, and 3 units, including an army command there. So that's 10 plus units. Okay, I just surrounded. Okay, I just surrounded those guys. Now, actually, having done that, it actually may not be a bad time to move the forward supply base of Army Group Center, because these guys, it's going to take time for my infantry to come up here, kill these guys off, get up here, kill these guys off. So this actually is probably a good time to go ahead and change my my forward operating base, because I'm not going to need the fuel coming in. Okay. or maybe I will have enough fuel. How much fuel do I have here? I have 1,600. So I don't have a lot of fuel. Okay? I don't have a lot of fuel. Notice he's on the brown there. So I don't have a lot of fuel, so this is probably a good time to actually move and create a forward base of supply here. Okay, but you got to be careful when you do it, because you're going to have two moves there with very restrictive supply. And so what we're seeing is everything is going to be based on how the Germans convert these rail lines. Okay, and while that really doesn't bother your armies, what it is going to do is it ties your panzer armies to those routes. All right. So if my route is going to take me like this, then my panzer army is going to probably have to stay within a reasonable distance of that thing there. So I really don't want to take my panzer army and charge it way over here. Okay, let my infantry do that. But that, I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. Looking over here, for example, here's the main base of operations. You see all the trucks coming to 1st Panzer, and I'm just now about to finish isolating all these guys in a pocket at Lvov. Okay, there's 4 tank units there. Okay. Look at all these Soviets. Okay, there's an army commander there. And that 5 guys there, 4 guys there. So, I mean, that's a lot of troops, eh? And 3, 7, 12, 15, and if I can pocket him, 19 groups that I can, 19 divisions that I can pocket in this area. And you've got, you've got to hammer these guys. Look at this guy here. This motorized division, it should die. Okay. It's been hurt some, but you need to put hurting on these folks, and get your move your supply bases forward, get those trains working, and then not only do you have to worry about fighting the Russians, but you also have to worry about fighting your own staff at the same time, trying to make everything work. So I hope that pretty much does it. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, you can. There's also there's a lot more details. There's cards here for example, to drop emergency fuel. Okay. Order Luftwaffe to make an emergency fuel drop. All right. The problem with that is that it will come out of the quota for the next move. Okay. But if I'm stuck for 2 moves without fuel, maybe I can use that. And you also have to be within 15 hexes of the Luftwaffe, and the Luftwaffe will drop the supplies based on weather, okay, which is only makes sense, right? So I mean, sometimes you're going to play that card and it's not going to work, all right? So there's a bunch of help things there. There's also these focus cards, okay, which it really puts, where is it? Command. Okay, focus. All right. And this is to focus staff and command resources onto an army or panzer group. All right. And that helps them out a lot, okay? Because once you play that card on, let's say, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Well, this is now we're getting into more the strategy part and not the supply part, okay? I think I pretty much explained the supply part to you. That's the way it works, okay? 2 systems, one for the infantry you don't have to worry about, one for the panzer groups where your supply is linked to rail links and via train, and then trucks that take the stuff out to your panzer group. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. So what happens is you pick a guy, focus this guy. This is north, so, and then you're going to be able to play this card based on whether or not the army group commander likes you or not. Okay. All right. So, and then you will receive the bonuses for that, for him getting focused, if you will, getting command focus, administrative focus in the next move. And then in the move following that, when you click on him, he will have a deck of cards. And if you look in the rules, you have like, I believe the first 3 are good while you're in Blitzkrieg, first 2 or so. And then you have a couple that are good during sustained ops and a couple that are good during defensive ops. So, but each of those cards, you have to pay for them. Okay, you have to pay for them, and then all of a sudden, Von Lieb determines he doesn't like you for some sort of thing that you did. Okay, and you will lose. You lose the you lose that focus. Okay. So you paid points to get the focus, and then you're going to pay some more points to get the added benefit of these another deck of cards, which gives command points and so forth to your panzer group, and then he's going to get mad at you and take that away. Okay, and I'm going. Okay. The one thing that you can count on always, and doesn't matter what these guys feel like, is that you can get artillery support. Okay, it will tell you right off when you first start to go ahead and determine who is supposed to get artillery support, and I believe that very soon here in the Luftwaffe, I think I gave them 2 weeks to continue their air offensive, and then once they're finished, then you can assign the Luftwaffe to help out your Panzer divisions, and that's another thing where I guess it's going to be dependent on Goring, okay, but I believe that once you assign a unit for the Luftwaffe, that the Luftwaffe will continue unless you change it, because that card always goes back in, and then you can change it to somebody else. So anyway, we started getting into the more technical stuff and all that. Didn't really want to do that. Just wanted to give you some implications of what happens when you decide that you want to move your forward supply base. That's going to hurt your trucks. Okay, it's going to wear out your trucks if you don't. Maybe better to do something like I did here first, and then say, okay, now when I don't need the fuel, okay, because I'm in a forward position and my infantry needs to catch up, now is the good time for me to go ahead and move that forward base. Okay, get the trains moving, and get your trucks usage down. You also once you capture some of these bases here, these naval bases, will get an option to have barges bring in supply, which will help a lot since I'm basically be moving my guys up in through the center and the interior, having supply brought in by barge, I guess, nominally decreases your reliance on trucks. So, there you go. It's not difficult, okay? It's not difficult. And it just requires that you understand how it works, okay? That's all it is. Once you understand how it works, it's really fairly easy. Makes actually playing the game much easier to understand, and I think much more fun. Okay, much more fun. I mean, I love driving my Panzers right now. I'm driving, and so hope you enjoyed that. Hope you, if you've got the game and didn't understand how the supply system works and not playing it because of the supply system, I say I hope that if you watched this tutorial that you go back and you try it again. Okay. I think you shouldn't let which is not a really truly obvious supply system hold you back from the game, because it appears to be a fun game. So again, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully it was useful. And until the next time we meet, y'all take care.